We're here at Microsoft London at HQ to talk about this new HoloLens product and how virtual reality might impact the retail space going forward. I'll be talking to Leda from the Microsoft team. We're hearing a lot about virtual reality, augmented reality in the retail space at the moment. What is Microsoft's approach to virtual reality?
Well, it's a really great question. One thing as a starting point, which is we're really looking at mixed reality right now. When we can blend the real world with the virtual world, and we call that mixed reality, that gives us infinite opportunities in terms of what we can do with this technology.
Okay, and Microsoft's approach to using this kind of technology at the moment, what's new in Microsoft HQ at the moment?
Yeah, so as of next week, we're going to be shipping the new Microsoft HoloLens into the UK, and we're delighted to see what customers are going to do. In the retail space, there's a couple of examples of what we're already seeing customers start to do right now, which are quite transformative to their businesses. So I'll give two quick examples. One is in the US, where we've been shipping since March. Lowe's, which is a do-it-yourself home retailer, they have
huge retailer.
They're a huge retailer, and they have an offering where they hope to do remodeling for kitchens. And it's really hard for people to think about what's that remodeling going to look like. And so one of the things that we've worked with Lowe's on, which is starting with the ideation, including their Pinterest feeds, and then mirroring that with the the order catalog of what Lowe's offering is. Consumers can then walk into a Lowe's store where they've got a couple of pilots already happening right now, and they can actually see the Lowe's catalog with what their preferences are, and with HoloLens on, being able to then size it and shape it to what their preferences are. So that's one example. The other example, which Volvo is doing right now around showrooms. And so the example there, which is Volvo stands for safety, but it's really hard for people to understand how do they engineer with safety in mind. And so what Volvo is looking at doing is taking people through that journey where they can show the sensors and how they painstakingly design for safety, and as they call it, the soul of the car, and show that to their consumers and bring them through that brand experience.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of innovation going on in the automotive space at the moment, and hopefully we're going to see lots more in the general retail space as well. When virtual reality, mixed reality, however you want to phrase this kind of technology, first came about, very much seen as a bit of a gimmick, really good for marketing, showing kind of a cutting edge approach to operations. But when will we see virtual reality move away from that gimmicky feel right into the core operations of a retail business and other businesses as well?
Yeah, one of the things that we're really getting really strong feedback right now on, which is how transformative a mixed reality environment can be for a retail environment, and also from a manufacturer. So when we go back to that Volvo example, not only are they an environment to be able to story tell differently to their customers and to bring people into that journey where the salesperson and the customer can see the same thing, but also then they can start thinking about, if you don't need 50,000 square feet of, a lot with tons of inventory, can they start showing up in different places? Can they start showing up on the high street? Can they start showing up in a shopping mall or a brand experience? But then the flip side of that, for a corporation like Volvo, one of their core principles and strategies is how do they move from 30 months to 20 months from design to production? And for them, being able to use HoloLens in a core part of their operations is a logical step. It's something that they're starting to do. So net is, one of the things that we're seeing from retailers and many companies is they'll start with one example of a HoloLens project, but then they'll have 10, 15 more other things that they'll start to want to do. And given that we're just starting to launch, we've only been out for 6-7 months in the US and just starting to come out here, we're seeing really rapid adoption that we're pretty excited about.
It's certainly an interesting journey, and we'll be keeping a close eye on it. What Microsoft is doing, and a whole load of other vendors as well. It's virtual reality, mixed reality. It's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, exciting space.